What's up, everyone? Jesse Daly here, and I have the privilege today of speaking with Barb Michaud, the director of Cancer Support VI, and Jera Lena Coviello, branding marketing expert at Cancer Support VI. And I'm so excited to be able to talk to both of you today. And if any of our viewers out there remember, Barb and I had a great conversation interview last year that aired on TV and on the Source YouTube channel. So now we get to also hang out with Jera and as well. So just to kind of jump in, Pinktober 2023 has begun. So that is super exciting. But before we talk about that, Barb and Jera, can you just tell us a little bit about Cancer Support of the VI and just about a little bit about both of your work for those who may not be familiar with the organization?
Sure, Jesse, thanks for having us, of course, as always. Cancer Support VI, as many know, is a nonprofit organization that raises awareness and funds for those in the USVI impacted by cancer. This was started back in 2005 based upon an inspiration for the Stevenson family and their businesses to give back to the community. We are an active fund of the Community Foundation of the Virgin Islands. And collaboratively, we, again, raise awareness and funds. And 100%, what's really important for our community to understand is 100% of every dollar we raise goes directly to assist cancer patients in the Virgin Islands.
That's amazing. And this Pinktober, what is going to be happening this year? I know every year there's some different exciting events. Can you talk a little bit about that? What's happening this month? In the VI to honor cancer fighters and cancer warriors, as you say, Barb.
Jera, we can tag team, or you can jump in. This is our 10th anniversary. Pinktober started as a pay it forward opportunity. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2013. And was an uninsured cancer patient living in the Virgin Islands, and was very prideful about asking for assistance, and heard about Cancer Support VI through a friend, and went with head down, not wanting assistance, to meet up with Charlene, who, what is that Maya Angelou quote? It's not what you said, it's not what you did, it's how someone makes you feel. And I think I walked out of there with a $1,500 grant, and it wasn't that it was $1 million or covering anywhere near what cancer costs, but at the end of the day, it made me feel like I was, that I wasn't ashamed for asking for assistance. Fast forward to, I was working at Mahogany Run and went to them, and here's a community-based business, and asked them if they would help me pay it forward so I could give back. And we catapulted in, I will say, to catapult 10 years. Our organization went from raising $0 to raising $985,000 over the last 10 years, just during the month of October.
Amazing.
So I don't know, Sarah, if you want to add to that, to any of the other things that.
Yeah. We've kicked off Pinktober with our online launch on the website cancersupportvi.com. And that's where we are hosting all the information about the events we're putting on. We have a lot of community partnerships that include things like Pink Drinks and Pink Eats and match sponsors. So just a couple of highlights is we kicked off Pinktober in person at TAFIS. We had a big pink block party Friday evening, and that's where, TAFIS does their first Friday for nonprofits, which is fantastic. Jose and Janelle are amazing, and they bring community together. So everybody who came and drank pink drinks, proceeds went to Cancer Support. We also have Leatherback Brewery on board, and they have brewed a pink soca this year and canned it specifically for Cancer Support VI. And the proceeds from the sales of all of pink soca all over Island are going to go to Cancer Support, and that's for the entire year. So they just really stepped up, and were an amazing partnership. You'll see the pink Soca cans everywhere, so please drink pink. We're doing things with St. Thomas Social, their Sunday brunches. If you get on out for a Sunday brunch between 10:30 and 2:30, any Crucian rum cocktail ordered, $2 for every drink goes to cancer support. That runs every Sunday. We have partnerships with Tap and Still. They've been doing this, Barb, for they're on their 9th year of supporting Pinktober, and they basically donate 25 cents for every order from all 3 Tap and Still locations, and you'll receive your order in a pink bag, or you'll see our pink sticker on there, just indicating that they're supporting and donating for the whole month of October. We have some upcoming events coming, Witches Night Out, which is in its 5th year running, of all of the witches, women that dress up as witches, and men can come out too, that do basically a bar crawl and raise money for Cancer Support VI. And things like Give Cancer the Boot. You're going to see the pink boots all over Island, volunteers carrying the boots, collecting donations, and every donation given this month is matched dollar for dollar by the match sponsors. So Barb, you may want to chat about that.
No, and just tag teaming with everything that Jairus said, it's important to note that Cancer Support VI, especially during the month of, or especially during Pinktober, we rely solely on our community, and our community, again, when I think about the 3 years that Mahogany run, 2014 to 2016, they helped raise $92,000 or $93,000 based upon their chip in for pink. It was a golf tournament, it was a wine event, it was raffle prizes, and then we had the hurricanes, and then we reached out to the different schools, and we didn't so much raise money in 2017 as much as we brought the energy around different projects for getting the message out about the organization. And then we reached out to Paint the Town Pink and Main Street. So we look to cultivate, and it's really important for our community, Jesse, to understand this isn't St. Thomas. This is St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John. So we work with all collaborative partners on raising awareness and funds. Over half of what we raise goes to people on St. Croix. Obviously, there's a smaller population on St. John, but that doesn't negate the fact that we provide grants for all 3 islands, territory-wide. It's our goal to ensure that we leave no cancer patient behind. We provide the largest known grant to a cancer patient. It's important to note that an uninsured cancer patient now receives $5,000. It's huge annually. They receive, if they're a MAP patient, which is a local government insurance, they receive up to $4,000. And if you're insured, it doesn't matter if you're insured, cancer is very expensive, you receive a grant up to $2,500. It's important to note, Jesse, when, there's a lot of incredible organizations in the Virgin Islands that are asking for the same dollar that we're asking for. So all we can do is share our message. And if it aligns with that donor, whether it's a business or just someone in the private sector, then we will be truly blessed. But we can't continue to do it. We don't have a cancer center. Charlotte Kimmelman Cancer Center remains closed since the hurricanes. That's 6 years in the making. They have gutted the building, and they finally hired the architects, and they will begin construction, but it is 18 months minimally before the cancer center reopens. And when it does reopen, although extraordinary, it will come with its limitations in terms of the services that it full on can provide. Will it make a huge difference? Yes. But in the meantime, so many of our islanders are faced with limited services, despite the fact that we have, it should be noted, Jesse, that we have extraordinary oncologists. We have Dr. Ellie Del Giaco, who owns both the St. Croix and St. Thomas cancer specialist, as well as Dr. Bashan. There are services in the Virgin Islands for those impacted by cancer. But mostly people have to veer off island.
Well, first of all, thank you both for sharing all of this. And it really, I think something that really stands out to me is just the amount of work and the, community-wide as you mentioned, all the islands, coming together to work on these, these projects. And I think it's fantastic what you're doing. And there's a couple of questions I just, kind of came up as you both were speaking. One of the questions, Barbara, I was going to ask about the Cancer Institute. So thanks for, clarifying some of that. You had mentioned about, wanting to make sure that no cancer patient is left behind. And I think it's really moving and interesting, your story about how, when you asked for some help, back in the day for your own situation, what would you say to someone who might be fearful of going through this process? How will Cancer Support VI be there, not just to help financially, but just in every way, emotionally? How is the organization there to help?
We have an extraordinary patient advocate, Annie Kerrigan, who works tirelessly with receiving intakes from cancer patients that are often referred by word of mouth or through our oncologist or whatever. And I think it's important to know that she is on the other end of some incredibly difficult stories where oftentimes it isn't the actual cancer patient, it's the neighbor, it's the caregiver, it's the friend, it's the mother, it's the niece, it's the cousin who's reaching out on behalf of that cancer patient because there is such a stigma. And I don't want to localize it just to the Virgin Islands, but, I was talking in a church yesterday and just saying if we could build an underground entrance into the cancer center when it reopens, people don't want people to know they have cancer. So they come to Cancer Support VI or to an oncologist far late in the stage because they say, well, there's nothing here for me, or I'm just going to die anyway, or I have no hope. So I have to believe that what Cancer Support VI is also doing is infusing some level of hope. Our grant is just a drop in the bucket to the overarching journey that these people are about. The rug is pulled out, and I think we're continuing to refine how do we better serve those in the Virgin Islands impacted by cancer. One of our chairman's daughter, Annie Stevenson Hutstetler, is sort of the liaison and one of our board members, and she coins us the tiny but mighty organization. You have to remember there is just me and a patient advocate, and we were blessed by Jara joining us to help get the message out to the community. As you can only imagine, it takes a village. In 2022, we gave out 281 grants exceeding $600,000. Just for reference, it's not even the end. By the end of September 2023, we have given out $585,000 in grants and exceeding 250 patients. We will well exceed not only what we raised, but what we gave last year. So yes, every donation matters because we won't be able to continue to give at the level that we give. And again, we understand that we live in really difficult times. Our population where we were in 2016 is different than where we are in 2023. We go from over 100,000 to only 87,000. And of those 87,000, I believe 68,000 of those are MAP patients. Those are the local government. They live well below the poverty level.
Yeah.
So, we have an incredible offering, but we also are looking to collaborate and rely more on the Department of Health, the Department of Human Services, and other local entities to support us. But I don't know where our organization would be, and I think any nonprofit can speak to this without the private sector. Our private sector is extraordinary. Not only the EDC companies, but the long-standing businesses here. I'll just give you a perfect example. H2 Cosmetics, she's tiny little entity who's going to give 20% of her proceeds to Cancer Support VI. These people are brand new to the business world, and yet they care deeply about the organization. Or there's a sorority last year that called and said, hey, Barb, we jump roped on Waterfront for 2 hours on Saturday afternoon. Here's a check for $2,000. So we have a long way to go to reach. We need to raise $500,000 before the end of the year. We have a long ways to go before we do it, but we believe in tiny miracles. And we're going to hope, Jesse, that people like you and other entities will help support, at least are providing an invitation to what we offer.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. And I guess the one of the final questions I have is for anyone watching this. Jerry, you kind of mentioned a little bit about this, but where can people go to find out what's happening and also how to get involved to share the word?
Yeah, so it's very simple. You can go to our website, cancersupportvi.com. There you will see everything about Pinktober, the events we have going on, the partnerships we have, the pink drinks where you can get out and support. You also can donate right on the website, and your donation is double dollar for dollar by our match sponsors. So far, we have some amazing match sponsors from the Westin, the Market and Moe's, Heavy Materials, Lucky Jewelers, and Annie and Bill Hallstetler. And we have more that keep coming in. So your dollar doubles. It's great. So check us out on Instagram and Facebook as well as Cancer Support VI, and we're always keeping things current there.
That sounds fantastic. The final question I had for you, I guess either of you, are there any additional statistics or any additional information that you wanted to share that you think is really important for the community to know about? You've already shared a ton of amazing information, but is there anything else you wanted to add before we end this video?
I can't think of anything in particular. I feel as though we came and have provided a tremendous amount of information. You know, we want people to know that it takes a lot of courage to ask for help. And we also, again, we hope, you know, when I think about Give Cancer the Boot, we have 7- and 8-year-olds that were at Koshulev's on Saturday. And it's like out of the mouths of babes. But these kids literally stood there and asked people, would you be willing to donate $1 or make a donation to cancer patients in the Virgin Islands? I think it's important, or it is for me, every time I speak to schools or humans, what inspires you to give? Especially, we live amongst extraordinary people. I say that often. We live in a community and a territory of really incredible community-oriented people. And I think the more you inspire them to see where they can get involved, whether it's donating $1 or standing out in front with a boot, or we have a child today, Anika's going into the country today to pick up 7 mugs or 8 mugs that this small child made that he wants to go to cancer patients. So we live amongst extraordinary people. I don't know if that answers your question, Jess, or Jara, if you want to piggyback off that, but.
I mean, you said it well. It's just been, you know, just in the short time we've been in Pinktober, about a week now, it's been really beautiful seeing the community show up and seeing how many stories of people are connected to cancer. You know, personally in my life, my grandmother had breast cancer and my aunt had lung cancer. I just don't think you get away from it. It's pervasive, it's here. And I like to think that the work Cancer Support is doing is giving people a hand up and not a hand out. And I hope that others feel the same way and realize they can come and gain the support.
Absolutely. Well, I think both of you and everyone in the organization is doing an amazing job. And for everyone watching, there will be an article to, you know, also summarize some of the things that we've discussed here. Make sure to head over to cancersupportvi.com. Jara and Barb, thank you so much for all that you do. And it's wonderful to see both of you. And everyone out there, I will see you over at the source. Thank you again, Jara and Barb.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.